And SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, is a federal program that provides food purchasing assistance to low-income households. Beneficiaries now pay with electronic benefit transfer cards, and just over 3 million SNAP households shopped online in May 2020, a big jump from March 2020, when about 35,000 SNAP households shopped online. That increase is mainly due to USDA's rapid expansion of the program during the early days of the crisis. And your SNAP deposit schedule depends on your state. However, some states may distribute benefits on a particular date each month. States also have different rules regarding payment days that fall on weekends or holidays. Now, to be eligible for SNAP benefits, you must meet the required income and resource requirements, which are updated on an annual basis. Your state may also have to meet additional criteria, and the amount you receive each month depends on your income and family size. And now, median short-term inflation expectations ticked up to 6.8% in June, from 6.6% in May. The monthly survey showed expectations for longer-term inflation over the next 3 years fell to 3.6%. It's indicating confidence that the U.S. officials and policymakers can eventually succeed in their battle to bring down inflation. There's a huge update, everybody, from the Biden administration. Biden is making some shocking news changes to his social spending plan, and there are some new updates to the bill which will affect many of you guys. The Biden administration has taken a step forward to address the controversial proposed oil drilling project in Alaska. The U.S. Department of Interior released a draft environmental impact statement for the oil drilling project, and the statement does not represent a final decision and includes several potential scenarios for the project, including no drilling. But it was a critical step the administration needed to complete the process to move forward. This set off alarms for many people and environmental groups. If approved and built, the project will produce about 630 million barrels of oil over the course of a 30-year lifespan, and would release up to 284 million metric tons of planet-warming carbon dioxide. The administration has faced considerable pressure from congressional Republicans in Joe Manchin of West Virginia to spur domestic energy production to help bring down gas prices through his project that took years to complete. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska cheered the administration's move and said she would continue to hold them accountable. So is your state or city sending out for stimulus checks? Well, I know many of you are wondering whether you can claim extra stimulus money. And here's what you have to know.
Changing, where is this going?
Well, you have to go over and ask that in the Senate. But we do believe that what we call the For the People Act, and now called the Freedom to Vote Act, is a bill that very much had the input of Senator Manchin.
If you're on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, RRB, or VA beneficiaries, continue watching this video to get the latest scoop on the most important stimulus check and Social Security news. Here it is, folks. Stimulus checks have definitely been a financial lifeline for many Americans during the crisis. So, it is really great to know that the relief payments are now back in multiple states across the country. Many of you are also wondering if you qualify for a new stimulus check. These are stimulus payments from state governments that have decided to take action for residents. Now, certain states like California have sent out monthly stimulus checks, and also in the Sunshine State of Florida, it has also been confirmed that they'll be sending out a payment of up to $1,100 to first responders and educators. That's including teachers and principals. If you live in Florida, you could receive an additional $2,000 stimulus check or $1,000 stimulus check, depending on your job. If you live in Georgia, you could also get $1,000 stimulus checks. If you live in Maine, you can receive up to $825, up to $285 if you are a Maine resident. And also Maryland, Marylanders can expect to receive a check of $300. If you live in New Mexico, you can get up to $750 of a stimulus check. This is as long as you didn't qualify for federal crisis stimulus payments, all done in the past. But let's not forget this, 36 million Americans are still facing poverty, as Congress has not reinstated the expanded monthly child tax credit payments. For the last 6 months, 36 million families, folks, have been receiving these monthly checks from the IRS.
All right, you happy? All right. She ends up paying the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund as he does. Okay, so he's paying 6.2%. She's going to pay a much smaller percentage.
If President Biden's bill is passed, families will receive a child tax credit payment this January. But the bad news is that the Build Back Better bill is still in limbo. It's hanging in the balance. It's so disappointing to see that lawmakers are not trying their best to get these relief payments reinstated. Although the child tax credit payments have temporarily stopped, grocery prices still haven't. The reality is that payments have really helped millions of families stay afloat, and it cannot be paused right now. especially as the crisis continues to worsen. In 2021, the enhanced program was projected to increase consumer spending by $27 billion. But as families cut down their spending, a stimulus check can also be sent out.
In all their lives. That is unfair. That is unjust. That is flat out wrong. When we're a body that can pass out trillions of dollars of tax cuts to the nation's wealthiest 1%, and yet we can't take care of people who have paid into the system because Congress...
So Nancy Pelosi and many other Democrats are now criticizing Republicans for taking credit for the infrastructure spending. Lawmakers have also just agreed to throw in 3 new Social Security changes that will take effect this year. So there is a ton of information about the 4th stimulus payments, folks, that you want to know. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out the latest stimulus news.
Carrie Job, you're the voice of an angel, kid. I tell you what, you really do. And that guy sitting next to you, he's a lucky guy. Majority Leader Schumer, Mitch McConnell. Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends. and that is not an epiphany we're having here at the moment.
And now remember, folks, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. I want to do my very best in providing you folks with the stimulus news, so be sure you watch until the end. So everybody, the 3rd stimulus check was sent out to eligible Americans starting back in March of 2021. So now the IRS is saying this: they have now sent out all qualified payments, and they say some families may still be leaving money on the table. The IRS has announced that parents or a child born or added to the family in 2021 is going to be eligible to receive some $1,400 stimulus check, but you are entitled to receive it if you apply for it. The IRS recently started sending out explanatory letters to those who did receive the 3rd payment, which breaks down how much you've gotten and whether you can qualify for more. However, for those who didn't receive a payment this year, there's still a way to go. All you have to do is look at the following questions. Is there a new child in the family, and did the family income change drastically? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, then good thing is that you qualify for it. The IRS has reported that it sent out 175 million 3rd round payments last year, which totaled more than $400 billion. For those who received the child tax credit payments last year as well, a separate letter is also being sent out to those families as well. The recovery rebate credit must also be filed as part of your 2021 tax return. And the IRS made clear that they would calculate the rebate for you. Now here's some big news for Social Security beneficiaries. Well, it has been reported that the Social Security Trust Fund that most people rely on for their retirement is going to run out of money in just 12 years. That's 1 year sooner than the expected lookout. So, aggravated by the crisis, it also threatens to shrink retirement payments and increase healthcare costs for older Americans. The Treasury Department oversees 2 Social Security funds, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance.